Alright guys, welcome. It's Rodin again, and we are here to do Eve Station Trading episode 40. Oh my god. Hang up there. That's true. I'm just the guy who types, man. Alright, man, I got some actually, I think this is the first time I'm actually gonna be able to show you guys kind of the oppressive contract work that I've been doing in Provi, so that's good. I'm really looking forward to that, man. I've gotten some real big steals this last week. Real big one. So before that, let's get over and go over our calls from last week. He's like, no, actually, he used to run my freighter. He used to drive my freighter between Jeddah and Namur. True story. They couldn't get into mining, but he's okay using a freighter because it's real simple, right? Alright, let's get started. I don't know how well these predictions are actually going to work out, to be honest. I have some doubts on some of these calls from last week. We called buys on P4s. I'm not sure what's making the P4s drop. No, man's like, why child labor? You can breed child labor. It's true. More real miners. Oh, man. I mean, has mining gone easier? Yeah, I think it has. Scale, you know, mining's gotten easier, but with that ease, did it make it like more boring? I feel like it did. Like, you know, like mining's like, we always have called out mining as like a solo activity, right? Or a multi-box activity, but it's definitely been a solo activity with how mining barges are now. Oh, here we go, guys. Oops, sorry guys, that was actually worked. Troll says that barrier to entry's gone harder though. Isn't it's harder to survive versus other activities if you don't have a Rourke? I mean, is that the standard we have to go by? Rourke or go home? That's kind of that's a bad standard. That's too high. Alright, let us now go over, so we're gonna P4s. I'm gonna start with that. I'm not sure what's making it drop. Or maybe it's less that it's dropping and more of it just has longer cycles now. No matter work call to see if they can get the info on what's going on to happen in the EVE market. It's funny you mentioned that, but actually in would have been 2 duty stations ago, my supervisor actually played with me, and I was the CEO, so that's kind of awkward. I taught him how to rat. And he ended up becoming an all Caldari pilot. So he played for about 2 years, and when he said he couldn't really play anymore, he actually biomassed everything. It's like, oh man, he biomassed it. Just give it to me. All right. Broadcast nodes. I picked up a little bit. Not too much. Yeah, I sure am in the military. No, man, I'm in the Navy. Broadcast nodes actually would have been a good call. Wow. So that would have been like, what, 2.1 to almost like maybe 2.4? It's not bad. It's not bad. Volume steady, so integrity response drones, it's actually going down. That's pretty. So it's actually now at a legit 90-day low. That's good. It's actually really good. Better buy opportunities this time around versus last year. Oh, okay, I was like former paratrooper. What? Yeah, actually, that's definitely something I'm gonna have to talk about sooner rather than later, because I'm actually gonna be going to EU time zone because I'm changing duty stations. So there's that. It's gonna happen in a few months though, guys. No factory is going sideways. So okay, so no real development there. Brits have to do more with less. So true. Organic motor applicators. What's up with this? It hit a 90-day low. It's going to be creeping back up to it's the 5-day moving average is creeping back up to the 20-day moving average. I don't see this making a huge comeback though. This might just be I mean, if you have the is to sink into something and you don't mind waiting like literally as much as 3 months, P4s might be really good right now. It's been good for a while. However, I mean, I'd hate to make this kind of call and make it basically work out like those godforsaken Stront, which I basically just like, you know, I'm just gonna sell it. I just gave it. It's like I just don't want to see this anymore, and I sold it at a loss. It's really bad. But a good portion of those I actually kept for myself for when my carriers are done. So there's that. But I just don't know why it's dropping so much. Is it because people are more getting into PI now versus mining? People are getting I'm not feeling fulfilled with mining. I don't know. Or does it go back to the destruction question again? Just simply not enough things are getting destroyed. Seems to be the word of the last 6 months. Not enough destruction. A recursive computing module sideways. Okay. Self-harmonizing power core still going down. It really wants to keep going back to the floor. Wow. As I'm about to sell these self-harmonizing power cores at a loss, getting tired of looking at them in my hangar. Dude, that was the same way. I actually sold my batch. I made about 5% profit on it. I really should have waited more, but I needed to cash out in order to capture some of these contracts that we're going to be talking about. Actually, it's only 2 of them, but one of them was a real steal. Like, I kind of felt bad I grabbed it. Okay, the feeling has passed. I don't know what the guy was like. So here, check it out, guys. Just a real quick thing on contracts. Especially if you're the one putting it out as a, want to sell, right? Yeah, Cap, man. I'm not sure what I mean, is it because the things that use the P4s simply aren't getting destroyed? That seems to be a nice, simple answer to that question, right? But is it happening at that level where, you know what I mean? Like, even minerals are actually dropping again. Like, hardcore dropping again. So minerals are dropping, P4s are dropping, these raw or processed materials are dropping in price because we're harvesting so much of it, and in turn nothing's getting destroyed. That's a bad equation. Seth says December before Christmas brings in the fights and markets go crazy. Hopefully there's fights. Hard to say, man. I've never seen Eve so quiet, to be honest. Usually you do have a lot more action during the holidays, around winter time, where I guess people are inside. Nomad says, I bought them weeks ago. They were still higher than they've been at weeks. Managed to buy 150 low and make a profit, but the other 150 hasn't gone into positive yet. Yeah, I bought them at like absolute bottom for the 90-day period, so I was pretty happy. I got really lucky with that one. Yeah, but I just don't know what's I mean, is this delve going here? Rest of Eve, take our materials that we've been harvesting all this time, suckers. Wetware, my god, I just make so much money on wetware mainframes, man. But it's just like it's cyclically trying to like go above the average, but it just keeps getting pushed down as soon as it tries. It's nuts. Hypersnaptic fibers. I think I called that 2 weeks ago, or is it a call from last week? Probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yeah, I keep coming back to those calls, to be honest. Which I don't mind. All right, so that's the P4 picture. A lot of these are still buys. I have to really be more careful when calling these out because they are technically buys. It's just that the time horizon is becoming longer and longer. Yeah, I think it was a 2 week ago call. Yeah. All right, so buys P4s we call the buy on Gila. Those are actually. I wonder how that market is going. Good call. Oh my god. Dude, we called it right here. We called it right here. Right as it was creeping up. Right there. So we called it like right at the 190. And it's sitting what? 190 to 208. Alright, so right now it's probably not a good picture of it. But as far as the... Actually, that's probably right. 190 to 208, yeah. Yeah, we called it right here. But then you probably could have called, yeah, 190 to 208. Let's see. See how much that is. Almost 9% before taxes. That's pretty good. That's really good. Considering it's a Gila. Capsa, you think someone's manipulating the market in PIs is the most unpredictable I've seen. I wish I wouldn't have given up on trying to buy those. YouTube and Twitch effect. You know what? If it's... Dude, self-fulfilling prophecies are real, man. Self-fulfilling prophecies are super real. Especially when you, like, play it out in the long term. Yeah, good call on Gilas. Dude, I was comfortably playing these at, like, 3% net. If someone would have captured this at almost 9% before taxes, dude, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. Seth says, time for it is bye-bye because in this stupid Christmas New Year's, goons like to go around and destroy a lot of stuff. PI and POS stations, so your market to these will go up tenfold, hopefully. Cows like Reload and Manic are flying Gilas. Do they normally not fly them? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But if they're kind of pushing it out and it becomes popular and people want to do the same thing, yeah, I can kind of see that. Yeah, I can see that. But great call, 9% on Gilas. If you took advantage of that. Because I think the last 2 weeks I was like going like, if you're in Jita and you're online right now, go buy this shit, please. Our next one we called is Ishtar. That's a weird call. People still use it apparently. I guess it's still good. Oh, he didn't push up. He just went sideways. That's a shame. 10 sold today. Ooh, lucky, Cap, lucky. It's good, it's good. It starts one sideways, that's unfortunate. But still, it's a low for the last 70 days or so. That's not bad. You're still in good shape. It starts number one AFK router before carriers. Yeah, but no, so just with that statement, number one AFK router before carriers. But now that basically routers, I mean carriers have gone to have reached a price point where they're quite cheap, honestly, as even having a usable fitting on them. But people are still are still using Ishtars, you know. It just surprised me. It really does. Hey, Nadi. That was the worm. Oh man. When I made that call last week, man, I was seeing a few. I was seeing some kind of mixed fleets in Spectre using worms. I was like, oh, that's cool, man. That's cool to see worms again. It's really cool to see worms again. They were ridiculously overpowered when they came out, man. Or not when they came out, but like after like one of the balance patches, and for some reason like they left them alone or something. I don't know, I can't remember, but they were really strong for a good while. I'm still seeing plenty of crewers. I don't know why. Yeah, it barely picked up, but you probably didn't get much. You would have needed to capture this at the really bottom end, like 47, 46. Let's say you did. Let's say you captured it at 46, which is feasible based on the way the Danshin, based on how the Danshin is looking. Sold it at 55, 47, 55. It's pretty reasonable. Let's see how it looks right now. Oh yeah, it would have been reasonable throughout the day. Yeah, that's pretty reasonable. Let's say 47, 55. 15%. For a faction frig, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Zenra, well, comparing Ishtars to carriers is kind of pointless. AFK ratting versus active ratting. That's a good point. So you can multi-box a bunch of Ishtars really easily, but not carriers. Yeah, that's true. I mean, speaking of carriers, I mean, I live in Providence. I'm surprised people actually do that. Really surprised. I'm like, I mean, I've been able to use carriers for a long time, but I've never actually used them to rat. I genuinely use them as haulers. They are my suitcases. They get me fitted ship contracts. That's their purpose. You know, and I appreciate that kind of shit because I am, after all, a jump freighter main. So I find myself being a jump freighter main, being in Provi. So weird, so weird. Nadi says, I just can't get with the whole paying way more for an Ishtar just for 5% more tracking. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I use a Gila, and I'm pretty happy with how the Gila performs. Super simple. I don't even. I mean, this is how lazy I am when I rat, man. I use a Gila, and I literally just go for the super small combat anomalies, the ones that don't even have a pop up. I literally just I drop my MTU, I unleash my drones, and I go take a shit, and I come back. then I get paid. So easy, so easy. I mean, can I use a V-Die for that? Yeah, but then Nagila is safer. Hey, Jeronica! Hopefully you got some more, some traffic your way through your website, man. Sounds like you to me. Go do something, take a shit, come back. Go choose a rattlesnake. Yeah, man. You know what? I can easily get a rattlesnake for myself in Provi. It's like, I really don't want to, man. I can get away with it because I have a Gila and I have another one. I haven't even. Once I get these blowed up, maybe. Yeah. Exchange getting good activity. Nice, nice. Because I've totally been pimping out to the Provi people, man. Kind of surprised. Is it just me or is it in general? Not people don't really watch the market. Because it's because they do effort shit. Or am I just being crazy? What else is it being crazy? Alright, and the last one's the skiff. Of course the skiff's gonna be good, man. Like, it's a combat ship. It just happens to mine. Shit's broken. Shit's fucking broken. It's like, no, people just like to roar while mine and be an Irad. That sounds right. Effort shit, man. Like, it's okay. Like, for me, like, I think I can realistically say, without bragging, say that I've graduated from effort isk making to not so much effort isk making. Feels good, man. Feels good. Like, people in Zenrer says people in Null who import items watch the market, but that's probably the extent of it. It's a no. Nice, I don't watch the market. I mean, I bought 8 Imperial Navy Smart Bombs from FY because here I am griping about their prices. Dude, FY is actually a really cheap market hub for nullsec. It's really good. Like, it matches Jita a lot of the times for the stuff that people really use. Providence is actually really good. I don't think it's an active effort in doing that. It's just that I think the people who actually import into FY do it in such a way that, like, they treat it as public service. Like, they're genuinely trying to help the coalition out. That's cool. Because I'll do it. I feel bad because then I because I'm like the aggressive market guy, and I'll like snag up all your contracts that are cheap if you let it out there for like 5 seconds, and I'm online. I'm gonna get that shit. One way or another, I'm gonna get that shit. Dude, the market, Jonica, the market guys in Null do make a killing. So I'm basically gonna go. I'm basically going Elizabeth Norn style and just doing contracts. It's so good. It's so good, so good, and because it's hard to track. It's really like, it's like you're sniping eBay auctions, man. That's what it feels like. It's actually kind of exciting. Yep, do it as a service. So making a profit means that I can buy more supply more. Yeah, I mean, I just started actually a jump freighter service, and I kind of got criticized, like, hey man, are you doing your math right? Because you're barely just making the cost of fuel with your cost for your service. Like, yeah, no, that honestly it. I just need someone to pay for my fuel, because I'm gonna be making those import export runs anyway. But I don't want to do it on a near empty jump freighter, so that's why I'm offering the service in the first place, because I have the room. But if folks can basically pay for my gas, that'd be great. A charitable effort, man. You gotta do it. All right, so that's our picture from last week. Oh, Skiff, as a buy, it's still a buy. Still a buy. Not much there. I'm kind of curious why it actually is still a buy. Maybe people aren't mining anymore, or not nearly as much after the initial rush. Maybe people taking a break. All right, so those are all our buys, and we'll go over our sells from last week. Call out Plex. Something tells me this is gonna be a good call. As a sell, yeah, it was a good call. Yeah, it was a good call. We called it right here as it reached the crest, and it didn't even drop. It just went sideways. Beautiful, beautiful. Nomad says, if I do it for cost, then you'll get strictly what I can afford and never anything new. Yeah. As a paratrooper, I need to make enough profit to cover my alcohol costs. True. Yeah, like as far as, you know, I kind of got into it's a quick little argument with one of my buddies, and I was like, he was like, hey, oh, people were saying, oh, we need sabers, fitted sabers, please, put them in pocket, and I did. And they're like, you're selling it for how much? That's Jita sell plus 10% for the fuel cost. They're like, that shit's expensive. I'm like, look, man. That's the fucking cost just to cover my fucking fuel expense. What? It's gonna be like that. Like, if you're telling me that you can get it from some of your other homies for like way less than that, then get it from your homies. You're not gonna get it from me because I gotta pay for my fuel. Crazy. It's like people, I don't think people have realized how much things cost now. Because they were like referencing prices for like, dude, that's so 6 months ago. That is literally pre-refining structures. Literally. Can't give you those numbers, bro. Because they're not appropriate. They're not appropriate anymore. Alright, so great call for Plex. It literally, we call it as a sell because it's literally the 90-day sell, 90-day high, and it didn't even correct. We just went sideways, which is really weird. So this is actually a really interesting picture because what's really interesting here is the 20-day moving average having a really steep rise, and it's staying there. There's a lot of sentiment for the price to go up, and now that the alphas are the way they are with the increased SP limit and the necessity to get the daily injectors if you want to get there, or just straight up be an omega for a while, this upward rise might be sustainable for a good while. Probably at least through the rest of the month, I imagine. No man, want it cheaper? Get your money budget, go get me the minerals, make it for you. True story. And wait considerably longer. Yep. Well, listening to the Japanese economists in the Big Five, they're of the opinion that I don't know, man. Like I value speed. I value the ability to get stuff that I need like right now, versus building everything, because that takes forever. I'm not a fan. All right, so that's the Plex picture. Next one we called is the crystalline and ferrite carbide composite armor plates. So the actual components. Crystalline, gold, crystalline, gold. Went sideways. Wow, that's actually really surprising. I really thought it would have corrected. I think my kids are plotting my death. I was really thinking that the price would go sideways, but I guess not. What does this mean? What fuel cost? I heard it ahead and I just whistle and I get it. Bless Aerith, man. Bless Aerith. He's a good guy. Actually, I don't know if you guys see them. I don't think this was an actual INN article. It might have been just a forum post from Aerith, basically saying, well, we won EVE. We won EVE economy. This is true, though. They won the EVE economy. They did. Good for him, man. Like Aerith. Well played, good sir. Nomads, they're just plotting how to go the judge on your wallet and assets. Maybe. They played it right though. I mean, no one else could have really played it like that. No one else had the resources or the will to do it like that. No one else. NC didn't even have it. I don't think so. No, right for revolution, maybe. Alright, so crystalline's looking good, although the Donchain channel being really wide means it kind of doesn't know what to do still. But again, similar to the Plex picture, that 20-day moving average line, it denotes the underlying trend in a more powerful manner versus the 5-day moving average. So if you were to kind of take all the, if you were to go just use one technical indicator that tells me whether the trend is up or low, a long range moving average would be your go-to technical indicator for that. Anytime you get air smug, someone's shaving. Well, you know what? I appreciate the smugness though, because you know he earned that smugness. He earned it because he had the ability to make those moves for that organization, and they did it. They did it. Good for them. Good for them for being ridiculously rich until the next totally exploitable method comes around. Hopefully. Next one we're gonna look at is the Mimitar variant for Night Carbide. So this one actually corrected. It corrected pretty deep too. Okay. It's still technically above the previous 45 days or so. So that's pretty good. I would probably follow suit with that trend and maybe buy into it after the correction looks like it's done. I'm not sure where that's gonna be at. This would be a good this reminds me, we gotta look at sabers too. We called sabers kind of very impromptu last week. Let's do that right now since we just looked at the Fortnite carbide plate. Actually, because sabers I bought them for like 70 plus over the weekend. On sales, mind you. Yeah, I followed it. It was a good call. It was a good call. Went up. If you bought it at 60 something, you would have sold it comfortably at like 76, 77. That's really good. Cass, uneasy rest of the crown. My verse min strikes me more the Stalin type. Really? I guess. I mean, their strongest attribute is that they could literally they can walk away with this and still maintain their identity as a group. They could literally walk away from Eve. Not a lot of entities in Eve can say that. They can just walk away and move to another game. That's very powerful. Very, very powerful. Alright, next one's Caracal Navy issue. I really want to start messing around with this, actually. It looks... I've never used it personally. I've just kind of tinfoiled with it. It doesn't look that bad. It is kind of expensive. For a Navy faction cruiser. It's still going up. It's still going up. That is amazing. People are actually using this? Missioners, I imagine. Like high-sec missioners, maybe. Like transitioning to, you know, doing level 3s. Maybe. I'm not sure if these things can do level 4s, but never tried. And not is like people fly those like, well, so there's a big difference between people flying an item that can be sold in market versus people actually just selling them, right? A lot of people, just because you sold something doesn't mean the person is gonna use it. They could just be holding on to it to resell later. But then when you look at the graph, it only reads completed trades, so it's going to register it as such. I think it's a fair assumption that at least a portion of those sold items are actually being used for what their design is. It's like I'm making and setting, and it's selling well so far. Okay, great. I haven't, because I've switched over to Amar Faction Warfare just because it's closer. I'm getting a lot more PvP on that side, actually. Which is good. And finally, from our last week's calls, the Zealot. I need to get in this ship. Because it's really hard to die in a Zealot. It's really tough to die. Whoa. This is a reaction on the components, guys. It has to be. Dude, look at that volume. It's unchanged. Quantity 7, 6. It's low number. But, dude, that's a product of the inputs costing a lot more. It has to be. It has to be. I hope someone paid it. I hope someone bought into this or sold it, you know, at this point. I mean, if you're building Zealots, are you? I mean, if you're a Tech 2 builder, is it just one really long game of catch at this point? Because we're seeing the price rise, but we're not, you know, because I'm not really showing you guys the cost of input, so I don't know if they're. it looks impressive on this page, right? But does it act? Is it actually really impressive if you were actively building throughout all this time? Seven to eight caracal. Oh my god, that's not much. I guess I guess people are using it for PvE predominantly. I imagine if that's the case, if it's not dying like that, better than a Drake, I guess. I don't know. All right, so those are all our calls from last week. Man, that took us a while. That's a lot. I guess we had a lot of calls. All right, so before we get into a few things, I want to share my imports and export picture for you guys. This one, start with this one. This one is an EVE appraisal of a contract that I picked up from Provi from my pocket. Let me open that up too so we can all look at the same thing. Okay. So if you're looking at that EVE appraisal, like it says that it's a buy of what is it? Buy of 920. Now the settings I put in there for is for Amar because I sell my stuff in Amar specifically, so it's the appropriate region, right? So insta sell that contract to Amar buy for 920 approximately. You guys should guess how much I got that contract for. You guys should really guess how much I got that contract for. It's really good. I feel bad that I grabbed it, but dude, like it was there, man. I don't know what you want me to do. Otherwise, as a regular caracal is used in a lot of doctrines. Yep, sure is. So that doesn't surprise me. I don't see much need for a nave issue. Yeah, I mean, it's not that low, Nomad. But I got that contract so you can insta sell it into Amar buy for approximately 900-ish million. I bought it for a contract fair and square 300 million. I'm not sure why the seller thought it would be a good idea to sell it for 300 million. No idea. No idea. And the messed up part is I actually have been taking the time to sell it appropriately to Amar sell. It's actually closer to like almost 2 billion in value if you're patient enough. I am patient. I am that patient. my approximate sell order value right now is like it's like 2.2 billion just on that batch. And I haven't even put everything up yet. I don't have enough buy orders. I don't have enough orders to be able to use due to my skill for that alt. So I'm not sure how that happened. It might have been a fat finger, but I don't know. But there's that. So one thing that I definitely want to, so that's one of my main exports for this week. Another one, not so much an export, but more of a, it's a very curious contract that I picked up. Very, very curious. Well, let me link it. So this is literally 4 RIA loads of ships. Repackaged ships. Just ships. Fire sale? That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if it's common for people to kind of like I'm not familiar of all the group dynamics or the alliance dynamics, corp dynamics within the entirety of Providence, but this looks like a fire sale to me. Like what's funny is they're from 2 different sides of the region, so it's not necessarily from one particular alliance or pocket. But that contract right there, I bought it for like 720. It can be insta sold into Amar for like 900. Or no, it has to be at the Marcel for like 900. However, I'm actually gonna donate a good portion of that to our pocket defense efforts, because I think I hoodwinked myself into helping out with PvP efforts. I don't know. I don't know. I love my guys. Don't get me wrong. I love my ULife Federation homies. I love these guys. They're great. It's just the NATZ, man, we are so short on manpower. So short. And I feel compelled to really help out in a big way because, you know, these are really good dudes, man. A lot of them are new players. And, you know, I think everyone's been there, you know, where you're in nullsec and you just want to do your thing. You want to earn some money. You want to earn some ISK. You want to do the PV part, and that's fine. But just due to our location, we get tons of reds, man. And there's nothing worse than, you know, just not feeling like you can't do anything. Like you're just gonna sit there and just wait for the reds to go away. No, we are not just waiting for the reds to go away. We are not gonna do that. We're too rich to do that. Sorry. On Nomads, they might be changing corps and find it just easier to sell their old stuff than trying to figure out how to move it. And that's very true. A lot of the buy orders, actually really cheap sell orders that I've captured, mind you, they're like at the ass end of the region, but just like, it's almost as if they couldn't bear themselves to, or they couldn't conveniently just insta-sell it, or slap it on a buy order, I mean, but they just sold it on location. So, I mean, with neutrals, you know, I can totally see that with neutrals for sure also. And I was like, I'd offer to help, but I stuck at PvP and KOS and Provi. So was I. And like, actually, I'm teaching these guys, not teaching them, but I'm kind of giving them the, you know, the picture on the other side, you know. I mean, for years, I was your red. I literally was your red, like, this time 2 years ago. And it was a great time, you know. And I think it's just getting, putting some realism in what it's like to live in nullsec, especially in Provi, especially that close to Empire, and especially with that level of red activity. I think a lot of people kind of have this, and maybe it's a new player thing, you know, they're just coming in there with maybe not necessarily realistic expectations, but that's a lot of the stuff that I'll be doing. I'm actually going to be doing that training on stream tomorrow. If you guys are interested, I'll actually put that up. I'll have to ask the guys first if they're okay with that. It's not like we're going to be talking about anything obsec, but maybe I'll just actually make edits of it and actually put it out as a training video. I was red to Provi until I moved to Provi. Same way. I was red to Provi until I moved to Provi. I was literally in Wrecking Machine still when I moved to Provi. We were literally a high sec war deck corp. When we killed Structure. I don't know. I have a cool invention and cursor Provi. It's my secret guilty pleasure. For real, man. Finding in Provi is actually not bad. It's not bad. Especially if you're there placing, if you're patient with your buy orders, man, you make a killing. Like, I'm building an Apostle right now. I'm basically, it feels like I'm actually building it for like literally minus 15% build cost. That's what it feels like, at least minus 15% build cost, at least. All right, so those are my only exports. Nothing for imports. Actually, no, my only imports were the fitted ships, the fitted sabers. They are moving along, but it's, I think the only thing with contracts, especially if you're doing it outside of the main hub, which is FY, it's reminding your membership that they exist. Like, hey, look at contracts. Hey, these things are up there. Hey, you don't gotta go to FY. Just buy it in our main hub. It's like it's like training your customers. So, however you need to do that, do it. What else? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only thing I imported. And I started, oh, and I'm doing this thing with my corp where we have this public hangar, and I'm basically filling it with like throwaway ships. That's about it, man. I'm like I'm doing my best to really, hopefully, improve the quality of life of my corp mates and my alliance mates, because they're good people. They're really good people, and it's a good spot to be. Like 50 build cost, 50 minus 50? Really? %? I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, it's probably, I'm probably overestimating it, because my batch of pyrite, I got that for like a good chunk of that. I got that for under 2. like under 2 ISK. The titanium, I definitely got it at 50% cheaper than a Marbuy or a Marcel, that's for sure. That's when I first got there. Alright, so those are our import-export picture. Alright, so now I'm going to go through our picks of the week. So the first one's going to be non-linear metamaterials. There's going to be a lot of... I'm surprised I'm still able to call these, to be honest with you. I'm really surprised I'm still able to call these. So this gives me a little bit of confidence that this isn't exactly like the Strong picture, because the mean prices are actually going up. It's not just like a slow. It's not just a slow slide down. It looks like it's starting to push up, but will it be successful in actually reaching the heights of 27K? Nah, no, not right now. Not on this push. I don't think so. Not on this push. There's more ways to generate salt in PvP and EV. There is. There really, really is. So what? I think it's a good time to buy. Again, it's the same disclaimer. If you feel comfortable being able to hold on to these for 1 to 3 months, I think it's a good buy. I really think it's a good buy. And the reason I'm really having to prepare the picture for a much longer time horizon, it's just because the cycles of these have become longer. They really have. I mean, they tend to be anyway because they are raws, but like longer than usual as per what we can determine from the charts. I'm calling non-linear metamaterials as a buy. I mean, with the added volume of it as the price was dropping, it's like people are selling into it. It's probably because it's kind of like the same picture. Oh, it's kind of high price right now. Just sell it. Because it's high price, but then they sold too much. Happens. You go too much. Didn't realize you went too far. Alright, next one's phenolic composites. Adrian's got noodles. I love noodles. So why am I calling phenolic composites the buy? Because it's right at that point where the 5-day moving average could potentially go above the 20-day moving average, and that's a classic sell sign. Even if it doesn't actually go beyond it, it's still a low price for the period. I think it's still a value buy, I think. And this is something that actually plays a little more volume-wise. I mean, it reaches between, what, 12 million to 20 million units traded daily. It's pretty good. Good volume. So it does give you a little bit of hedge from the thing going crazy. All right, next one is the last one for our buys, photonic metamaterials. Same thing, like it's starting to, rise from the 90-day low, but then it just gets brought right back down, man. So for another buy opportunity, potentially. This one's a little more suspicious though. Didn't get that far. It looks like it's about to go down, so to be honest. Like, this is definitely like a long-term observe. For sure, long-term observe. Alright, and that's all of our buys. What really motivated me to kind of revisit this again is when Aerith actually made that, kind of like that smug post. I was like, oh. Because I was kind of curious how the markets would react based on that, or how, fellow Imperium members would actually react, or would they follow his advice or go counter to it? Who knows? So I just thought I'd look at it anyway. Caps, I don't know. Reactions seem to be pretty hit and miss right now. They are very hit and miss right now because I think the word on the street is no one really likes to do those fucking reactions on there's fucking moon mining bullshit. I don't think a lot of people are into it. Like, they want to do it for the money, but I don't think people are really into it. That's what I'm gathering from people. I personally have never done it. Hell, I extracted all my mining skills as soon as I was able to. I'm that much mining averse because I just don't. There's better things to do. Me personally, there's better things to do. There's better things to do than mining. I'd rather buy your minerals versus mine for my minerals. Oh yeah, I totally agree. They are very hit or miss. I think there's not a lot of enjoyable aspects of it, you know, and it's kind of dangerous too, right? Because it's on a timer, so your friendly neighborhood spies can figure out when it's gonna go down, and you wouldn't want to bring your big stuff out. So there's that. I mean, the design's good. Don't get me wrong. It's just that the actual effect of it in game is like it's more risky. Like what I. Yeah, like, and yet and yet I can't. Is there any friggin' justice in this world? I personally haven't done it either. But then, and from the people that I do know that have it, like, I don't think they're as into it. I mean, now mind you, because I'm in just probably, bro. Like, I don't know what the Delve picture looks like. I don't know what the NC Space picture looks like, but it doesn't. You know, at the end of the day, it's still just mining. I mean, it's still mining. Nothing's changed. You just like, oh, you have a new man-made belt. As far as the reactions, I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm just waiting for the structures in my area to actually have that ability. But I really need to start looking at the numbers and you know, like get the blueprints, stuff like that. Was that it? Yep, that's all for our buys for the week. And next one I'm gonna call out is our sells. So there's gonna be definitely a theme here for ourselves. Basically, it's faction or metaphors. I'll show you why. I have some hypotheses on these. I'm so tinfoily on this. I think I'm really way off, but if I'm not, this is a huge hoodwink if it's true. Alright, let's get started. Geckos. Man, I love calling geckos. I love calling geckos because I can't use them shits. It's steadily going up there. It's all captured from cells too, because the volume remains the same. Yeah, I was like, I have the gig. There's so much is lying around. Dude, there is so much is going on. There's so much money running around right now. And it's... Well... Is it really ISK, or is it just people are asset heavy right now? There's that aspect too, right? There's a difference, right? Like I'm definitely. This is one of the more ISK poor moments I've been in as of the last 6 months or so. But I'm really asset heavy, and I think I prefer being asset heavy versus ISK heavy, to be honest. Because then that gives me an opportunity to make content out of those assets, right? Alright, geckos are good. Sell signal, and it's just trending upwards. Even the 20-day moving average is trending upwards, which is really creepy. It's really creepy. Cute pew jockeys, yeah. So if you got them, I mean, for the like, yeah, I mean they haven't changed. They're still as effective as they are. I wonder if this correlates to rattlesnakes actually. It's called rattlesnakes like 2 weeks ago. When I used to have my rattlesnake, I definitely use geckos because I felt safe. If you feel safe enough to use rattlesnakes, you should feel safe enough to slap geckos on it. Just saying. It was so good, so good. It's the most AFK machine I've ever been in. It's great. Next one after that is the IFFA DC. This is really curious. Check this out, guys. What is this? I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Not sure what I'm looking at. What's triggering this demand? I'm not sure. This can't be alpha stuff. This cannot be alpha stuff because alphas can use Tech 2 modules now. I'm getting lazy, blow some stuff up. Yeah, for real. Not sure what's triggering this demand. I'm gonna go through all these and then I'll kind of make some points afterwards. So if you happen to have these laying around because you're missioning and I actually loot and salvage my stuff, I got a gajillion of these things, you should probably consider selling it. Because throughout its 90-day history, this is the most expensive IFFAs are since ever in its entire history. So you should look into that. They use Tech 2 DCs? I thought they could. Actually, I don't know. I know they can use Tech 2 medium weapons at that point. I'm pretty sure they can use Tech 2 tank items as well. Well, let's say they can't. Let's say they can't. Then the rise in price really doesn't make sense because unless we're saying that we got that many legit alphas because of the new alpha clone scheme, which I doubt. We're just gonna keep going though, because then I'll have my piece afterwards. But if you have them and you have them in bulk, you should try selling it. Why not? Next one is the 5MN YT8 micro warp drive. So it's the Metaphor frigate size micro warp drive. Not as drastic, but it's same kind of picture. It's just it's hitting historic highs. It's hitting historic highs consistently. Like I think it indicates alphas are alts in a sense. I think most alphas are alts, to be honest with you. I don't personally, I haven't run in across too many. Oh, I'm just an alpha account player, and I only have just one alpha. I can't think of a person that I've come in contact with that I've either spoken to or like had a, type in fleet or something that has that situation. I don't know of any that's like that. So same thing with this, very popular Metaphor micro warp drive because of it's better fitting options, honestly. And finally, Arbalest Rapid Light Missile Launcher. So it's the Metaphor Rapid Light Missile Launcher. So this looks a lot like the IFFA picture. I mean, if you have it, sell it. If you don't, if you have it in bulk and you're okay selling it at this point, I mean, you should be because this is historic highs. You should be okay with this. Otherwise, like I know if you really, I just don't know of any. I honestly don't know of any. I mean, maybe some of my core mates are, but I'm almost certain they're one of those. I have an Omega and I have an Alpha. They're not owning out to it, but the semantics back up the economics. Yeah, it does. All right, so that's the picture. Lots of sell opportunities for these metaphors. So we haven't, I mean, realistically, guys, we haven't called metaphors since like at least 4 months, 3-4 months, I think. It's been a while, so they've been laying dormant for a good while. No one's like, oh, I do have those, and I have them in bulk in a place where I can't easily get it to Gita. Oh man, that's terrible, bro. But if you legit have, because they look like they're about to correct. Are they gonna correct so hard that they go back to where they were 2 weeks ago? Hard to tell at this point, to be honest. If you give it another 2-3 days, you might have a better idea of where it goes. But then it may really be too late to sell it at this price point by then. So it's one of those things. So here's my kind of hypothesis on this and why maybe this is happening. It seems like someone's. So when I was first looking at this, and I was just kind of looking at it, kind of just, and when you're looking at something and you're kind of just letting your mind wander, it didn't feel right. Like, it doesn't look right. It didn't feel right. It doesn't look right. You have 500 of them? Holy shit. So I was kind of thinking about it for a bit. So if we were to break this down, there's no change in volume, a really marked increase in price. Donchin's really high up there. It's very outlierish. So are the new alphas? New alphas have created a surging demand on meta modules. Is that if this? So have the new alphas created a surging demand on meta modules? It runs on the assumption that there actually are a whole lot of new alphas, and I think we can call it a previous Omega player going downgrade to an alpha, a new alpha, right? I think that's pretty fair. And then they're buying up all these material, all these modules. Maybe. If so, this should subside once Tech 2 module training is complete. So I'm pretty sure they can use Tech 2 modules now, right? So so that's kind of, does that make sense, guys? If someone can work out the math to where a new alpha right now attempting to train into the Tech 2 variants of these modules, by the time you get close to that point, the price will correct to more normal levels. Does that make sense? Or am I way off on that one? It seems feasible, but I think that's very tinfoily. You guys have way too much of this stuff. You gotta need to sell that shit. For real. So that's kind of one part of what I was thinking about. Or is this an attempt to buy out the metaphors before the respective Tech 2 variant spikes up in price? So let's look at that. So let's call out the IFFAs and the DC2. Let's make a comparison. So IFFA is going up in price. It's in the 2.5 mil range now. Okay. Let's look at damage control Tech 2. It's not even a million. Not even a million, man. Jita Cell, 527K. Okay. What's damage control made of? That's interesting. It's Galenti shit. Oh no, Ferrite carbide. It's a little bit of everything, isn't it? A Ferrite carbide composite armor plate, quantum microprocessor. Oh, phenolic composites. We were just calling that. So it's kind of like multiracial stuff, right? I imagine this is gonna spike up again. It has to. It has to. Only running a little higher though, Dixie. Really? Yeah, really? Damn. Mechanical parts is dropping. Construction blocks are dropping in price. Ferrite, we called that. Crystalline carbide, we call it. All these items are actually, they're low right now, but I imagine it is eventually gonna get close to this point right here. But is it fair to assume that damage controls will reach historic highs of, a million, 1 million is probably a historic high for this item. So I don't know. I may be way off. I may be just a bit tinfoily on this one, but it feels like someone's playing it. and they're playing the difference or the sentiment behind using an IFFA, or the sentiment behind using meta modules versus the Tech 2 variants. I don't know. It just doesn't look right, man. It just really doesn't look right how quickly it rolls up, unless someone's really buying that for as a equipment for war. But maybe. But meta? I mean, do we have that many new alphas that we can literally have an alpha army? I don't know. Created an alpha alt last night and he's already Tech 2 guns that way. Oh my god. There you go. So I don't know, maybe I may be overthinking this, and I'm pretty sure someone's gonna like shoot this idea down and laugh at it, which is just fine. But tell me where I'm kind of wrong in my thinking though, so I can kind of have a better idea, a better way to present such ideas in the future. Please, that'd be great. And I'm totally fine being wrong, because being wrong is a first step to being smarter sometimes. So there's that. It just doesn't look right. Unless that's a Goon Christmas present. I mean, maybe. I mean, unless someone just literally just bought it up because we're doing it. Oh, we have a SIG going on in around Christmas time or whatever, and we need all these things. I mean, yeah, very well. Actually, that's a really good point. It very well could be like some sort of Goon SIG, right? That's utilizing alphas. It might be because of 10 CPU, so on a tight CPU fitting, they might opt for the IFFA. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Even for most of my fits on my Omega, I use IFFAs, to be honest. An Alpha Army Swarm. Yeah, I mean, actually, I didn't even think about that, Cap. What if it is? That'd be kind of cool though, right? If it's some sort of like Imperium SIG that's utilizing all these modules that we're calling out. That'd be kind of cool. Alright, well that's really all I got, guys. Sorry there was a lot of distractions today from real life stuff. But one thing I do want to let folks know, as long I should be able to continue with the shows, actually, since we do it on Tuesdays anyway. And I'm going to be on leave here next 2 weeks or so. So that'll be neat. Besides that, I really don't have anything else. Really gotta get out of here and start making dinner. All right. Of course, I'm probably gonna do some edits on this, but probably not. I mean, we had some pauses throughout the show, but it is what it is. Besides that, I don't have anything else. So just to recap, we had some pretty good calls. Metaphors are going up there. Rodin started tinfoiling, and it might have been bad. But Cap saved him by saying it's probably an Imperium SIG. Win. So that's the quick TLDR of the whole show. Cap saved Rodin from making a fool of himself. Alright, but that's all I got, guys. I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.